A major political storm has just broken out in Britain. A mayor has openly threatened the future of the monarchy, and King Charles has responded using a constitutional weapon most people didn't even know existed. In the next 48 hours, one of them will face political ruin. What you're about to hear explains the battle that's tearing London apart, and why the outcome will decide whether tradition or democracy defines Britain's future. Here's the story they're not telling you. 5 days ago, London Mayor Sadiq Khan stepped in front of reporters and announced something called the London Citizenship Charter. Under this plan, every business in the city would be required to sign new diversity agreements or face fines of up to £50,000. Khan declared, London will take Britain into the 21st century, whether the establishment approves or not. King Charles heard the speech, and this time he didn't stay silent. For the first time in 300 years, he used a little-known constitutional mechanism called Crown intervention, a hidden power that allows the monarchy to question an elected official's authority. Charles sent a formal letter to Parliament asking whether Khan had gone beyond his powers, and then the palace released the letter publicly. That was a direct challenge, and everyone in Westminster knew it. If you want the full truth, the truth mainstream outlets are avoiding, keep listening because it gets far worse. Khan responded the next day at 4 p.m. standing outside City Hall, his voice unsteady and his hands gripping the podium. He said, "The unelected king has just told the democratically elected mayor of London that he knows better than 8 million Londoners who voted for change. This is not 1825. This is 2025. And I will not be silenced by a crown that has forgotten the people it claims to serve." The crowd behind him cheered, but inside Westminster, shock spread instantly. 3 journalists in the room said the same thing. Khan's press secretary, David Bellamy, kept making frantic gestures, mouthing the word stop, desperately trying to shut the speech down. Khan ignored him and continued, growing more forceful and crossing political lines that can't easily be walked back. Then he went after the entire royal family. How many palaces does one family need while ordinary Londoners can't even afford rent? He shouted. Twitter exploded, but inside Parliament, Labour's Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper quietly turned off her TV and told her aides she couldn't watch anymore. Members of Khan's own party were growing terrified. Then the story took a painful turn. James Morrison, age 73, a veteran who lost his right leg serving in the Falklands War, had lived in a flat in Camden for 30 years. Last month he was evicted under new housing quotas introduced by Khan's office. Morrison now survives on a pension of £900 a month and is sleeping in his daughter's spare room. "I fought for Britain," he said in tears, "and now Britain has no room for me in its own capital." His story was shared 300,000 times in a single day. The contrast was impossible to ignore. While veterans like Morrison were being displaced, documents revealed that Khan's office spent £2 million last year on diversity consultants, including £18,000 for a single weekend retreat at a luxury spa in Surrey. £18,000, while pensioners struggle to heat their homes. A 62-year-old retired nurse, Sarah Jenkins from Barking, recorded a video that reached over 1 million views. Crying, she said, "I voted for him twice. I believed in him. But he cares more about his image than he does about us." Public opinion shifted instantly. In just 72 hours, Khan's approval rating fell 18 points. Among voters over 50, he is now at 19%. Even young voters have turned away. Support from under 30s dropped from 71% to 53% in only 3 days. This would devastate any politician. Then King Charles stepped forward again. At a reception for Commonwealth leaders yesterday, he delivered what insiders say was the most political message from a monarch in 70 years. "The traditions that bind this nation together," he said calmly, "cannot be discarded by those who confuse temporary power with permanent authority. London belongs to every Briton, not to the ideological preferences of one mayor." The room went silent. Diplomats froze mid-conversation. Palace aides later admitted they begged Charles not to include those lines, but he refused. He personally rewrote the speech 3 times, strengthening it each time. He wanted the country to hear him clearly. At 11:23 p.m., Khan fired back on Twitter. "The Crown lectures me about tradition while protecting inherited wealth and privilege. I answer to Londoners, not to palaces." He deleted the tweet 17 minutes later. But screenshots were everywhere. Strategists from both major parties blasted the move, calling it political amateurism. They said openly, "You don't pick a fight with the monarchy at midnight and then delete it." Hours later, Labour leader Keir Starmer released a brutal statement. Khan's views do not represent the Labour Party. When your own leader distances himself, that's political collapse in real time. The markets reacted instantly. The pound dropped 0.3% after Charles's speech, wiping out £1.2 billion from London's financial sector in one day. Analysts questioned whether the city could remain a global financial hub if the chaos continued. Investors hate instability, and right now London is drowning in it. Protests erupted overnight. Thousands carrying Union Jacks filled the streets from Trafalgar Square to Tower Bridge, demanding Khan's resignation. Counter-protesters clashed with royal supporters near Westminster. Police confirmed 12 arrests, 7 officers injured, and 3 vehicles damaged. London hasn't seen this level of unrest since the 2011 riots. Inside City Hall, Khan's team was unraveling. Deputy Mayor Sophie Linden reportedly threatened to resign during an emergency meeting, saying Khan had crossed a line from which he couldn't return. Another senior aide said his judgment had completely collapsed. Sources described Khan as exhausted, isolated, and constantly scrolling through Twitter, unable to ignore any criticism. A longtime aide said, "He knows this is the fight of his political life, and he isn't sure he can win." Then everything changed. The Telegraph published leaked internal emails from Khan's office. The messages, written in September, showed strategic discussions about creating a conflict with the monarchy to energize progressive voters. One email from Khan's top strategist said, "We need a villain. The crown is perfect, unelected, wealthy, traditional. Exactly what our base rejects." If these emails are legitimate, the entire conflict wasn't spontaneous, it was planned. Khan may have intentionally provoked the king, expecting the public to rally behind the elected mayor standing up to an unelected monarch. But he misjudged Britain in 2025. The country is not ready to abandon the monarchy, especially not for a mayor seen as responsible for rising crime, worsening housing, and deepening division. Constitutional historian Professor David Starkey called the leak the most cynical political manipulation I've seen in 50 years. The Conservative Party saw a massive opportunity. Their leader, Kemi Badenoch, held a press conference that felt more like a campaign kickoff. "While Sadiq Khan attacks the king," she said, looking directly at the cameras, "ordinary Londoners are suffering. Crime is up 23%. Housing affordability is at the lowest level ever recorded. 12,000 businesses left London in the past year." And his answer is to attack the one institution that still unites this country. The statistics are clear. Knife crime is up 31% since Khan took office. Average rent has risen 48%. Small businesses are fleeing. Conservative support in London has jumped from 31% to 42% in 4 days. For the first time since 2016, Conservatives are leading Labour in Greater London polls. Badenoch isn't just gaining momentum. She could realistically win the next London election, something no one imagined 2 weeks ago. The next 72 hours will decide everything. Khan faces 3 massive challenges. Monday, a vote of no confidence, where his own Labour councillors may turn against him. Thursday, an emergency parliamentary debate where Conservative MPs will demand an investigation into whether he exceeded his constitutional authority. Saturday, nationwide protests expected to bring more than 100,000 royalists to central London, possibly the largest demonstration in decades. The question is no longer whether Khan will survive politically. It's whether London can survive the chaos surrounding him. Britain is watching its capital fracture, split between those who believe elected leaders can challenge outdated systems and those who believe tradition must endure. Not since 1936, during the abdication crisis, has a monarch faced such a direct challenge from an elected official. At the center stands Sadiq Khan, increasingly alone, increasingly unstable, increasingly close to political collapse. So here is the real question. Did Sadiq Khan end his own career by going to war with King Charles? Or did King Charles step beyond his role by interfering in London's politics? Who wins this fight, the elected mayor or the unelected king? Tell us what you think. Do you support Khan or Charles? Should Khan resign immediately, Or does he have the right to challenge royal involvement in city affairs? Your voice matters because this isn't just London's fight. It's about what future Britain chooses, democracy or tradition. If this shocked you, share it. Mainstream media is avoiding the deeper story. The leaks, the veteran testimonies, the chaos inside Khan's team. But we're showing it all. And tomorrow we'll release the full leaked email set, proving Khan planned this conflict from the start. What those emails reveal about his goals for London will change everything. Subscribe and turn on notifications. The next 48 hours will determine whether Britain's capital is shaped by a mayor or a monarch. This is history unfolding in real time, and you do not want to miss what comes next.